ready to live in a rural area, they likely will soon. So it needs to be spoken about.
And that is that we are living or being ruled by paganism. We in 1945, just to get this going, 1945, after the two world wars, which were basically, well, not basically, they were enacted in order to put a hurt on humanity, that humanity would no longer want war. The United Nations was formed specifically to push forward a one world government and a one world religion. The one world government is elite, unelected people overseas running our country and telling us what we can and cannot do in our own country. The one world religion requires the eradication of the Christian faith. It also is going to take the eradication of Islam, or the Muslim faith, because the new world religion will be neither of those two. The whole idea of this earth worship thing is straight paganism. It's in the churches. Every church that I know of is now pushing the Earth Charter, which is the exact opposite of Christianity. Now, is there anybody in here from the area that is concerned about a wind farm coming near them? You've got 100 already? Oh yeah, that's down my neck of the woods. No, I mean up here, I attended a meeting up here about 2.5, 3 years ago in Woodford when they first started bringing the idea of wind farms to Woodford, and the whole thing is just a pack of lies. Anyways, this here is a picture I took just outside of Kincardine. I'm not 100% sure. Last word I heard is this house is abandoned now. We have quite a few homes in the Kincardine area that are abandoned. It's not just in people's heads. I have a gentleman down near Godrich who ran a cow-calf operation for years. He did in his life what he thought he was supposed to do. He bought some land, he farmed, raised his family, put his family through school. They brought the wind farms in, and his barn actually got up over 200 volts on the outside, okay, because when we get a burst of wind, you have to keep the lines stable, and what they end up doing is the electricity the lines can't carry goes down through rods and into the ground, and it ends up in these people's barns and houses. Anyways, that's what a wind farm looks like. Now, this is from Denmark, and this is who we're supposed to follow. My question is, why would we in Canada follow anybody? Why would we be just like anybody or someone else? That's a sales pitch, okay? Nothing more. Does that thing bump ahead? Anyways, this is from Denmark. Windmills are a mistake, make no sense economically. Wind turbines do not reduce carbon dioxide emissions. We're being told that we have to put up the wind turbines to cut CO2 emissions. From Denmark, the home of the wind turbine, it doesn't work. What this is about a world tax. You are guilty of hurting the earth by emitting CO2. Okay? The reason CO2 was picked was everything is CO2. Without CO2, you live on a rock. Nothing survives without CO2. CO2 is a life gas. Every time you exhale, that's CO2. Every time you get in your car, everything you buy is CO2 based. That gives them a worldwide tax on your person. I don't mean the corporate person. So we have these politicians here who are telling us that we need to put these wind turbines up. How bad is it economically? In 2007, I had the opportunity to talk to Senior Policy Advisor to Minister of Energy. I told him what my research was showing. I showed him the research papers from some of the universities. Everything said this is a bad idea. When I talked to the Senior Policy Advisor, his cost to upgrade our system and give us as clean a system as you can buy was between 10 and 12 billion dollars. That included putting the scrubbers on the stacks at the coal plants, because CO2 is not harmful. And what has successive government said? We got to shut down the coal plants because of the CO2. We won't put the scrubbers on the coal plants because it won't stop CO2. Only it's everything else that's harming people. So we have basically a bunch of deceivers who are doing the bidding of the United Nations. The IEA, which is the International Energy Association, states specifically that there's two reasons to be using renewable energy. One is cash flow, which is cash flow out of your pocket into their pocket, and the creation of carbon credits. Here in Ontario, a lot of jurisdictions, they split the carbon credits with the industry. Okay, so the industry can cover their butts with the credits, and so can the government partially. In Ontario here, we're paying a premium, and the premium goes to the companies, and in return, the government gets all the carbon credits. What's going to take place once all these wind turbines are up is the government will claim itself to be carbon neutral. You, on the other hand, are not. Okay, so it's going to get very, very expensive if you don't own an energy company or a government. You're being set up. The ticket through the UN is one world government. They intend to destroy our economies. That is their plan. That's what they say. They blame the Christian people. If you look in the world, the main places that wind turbines are going up in renewable energy are in Christian-based countries, i.e. the West. You know, the States, Canada, Australia, Britain, all these kind of places. Because the people at the UN who wish to eradicate Christianity blame Christianity for hurting Mother Earth. Because it is the Christians and the Christian-based faith only that have ever industrialized everything. We're the builders. We built the factories. We lifted ourselves from poverty. And they wish to put that back. And they blame us specifically for hurting Mother Earth. The new religion is paganism, and you are to worship Mother Earth, and once we have people in that mindset, you don't mind giving up your right to water. You don't mind paying more for electricity. You don't mind being regulated to death. Because you've come to, I mean, it's a psychological war we're in, okay? And we have to overcome it somehow. Anyways, what we have here is, this is our boss right now. This is out of Dalton's mouth, okay? This is from 206 Hansard. I think the member opposite knows that when it comes to natural gas prices, they tend to be volatile. It remains a significant contributor to global warming. Wind turbines, we're investing heavily in those, but again, those are an expensive form of electricity and they're not reliable. Why would you invest in this? It makes no sense. Now, one thing all of these people tend to say is that we're doing all of this to save us from global warming. A lot of people now, okay, this is again from the Hansard. We're spending what should have cost us between 10 and 12 billion, according to the Senior Policy Advisor. This is going to cost us, we're already at the $87 billion mark, and now they're talking, it's going to run over 100 billion. This is part and parcel being used to help to bankrupt us. We're borrowing the money from the IMF. They bankrupt us. IMF is United Nations, as is World Bank. Boom, gotcha. Okay, this is a trap. I'm trying to do this as fast as I can in here. This is a guy that a lot of people now are saying they're going to vote for in the next provincial election because they're so mad at McGuinty. Make no mistake, these people are working for the same people. Okay? Now, I've talked to his offices, and these people were supposedly fighting wind farm, a couple of groups out there. This guy here, it was actually the Harris government who first started moving this wind program through and the renewable program through. Then we got McGuinty. Now we're likely going to have Hudak here next. Okay? So it's going to keep on moving down the line. He's telling people now that if you vote conservative, we'll do something about what McGuinty's trying to do you. But here he is in 2007 espousing the Tory mandate on renewable energy. That they're going to do an even better job than Dalton McGuinty. In the 2007, because I read in the 2007 election as an independent, in the 2007 election platform book put out by Tory and the Conservatives, they promised more wind than the Liberals if elected. Okay, so we got a real problem here. Now, no, just right there for a second. Hudak says Tories announcement yesterday, keep this at the bottom, keeps in line with PC Party's legacy of environmental protection that is included in the creation of the Ministry of Environment, the Niagara Escarpment Commission, Oak Ridges Moran, the Living Legacy Trust, which is conservancy programs, which are all UN-based. This is a land grab. Nothing more. Okay, now, both of these parties, all parties, are telling us we have to fight global warming. The problem is, global warming, or man-made global warming, is as phony as a $3 bill. And they tell you it's phony. The Club of Rome was set up in 1968 as a manufacturer of crisis. They create the problem, the NGOs, the media, the schools, the churches, okay, give you the reaction or work you into the reaction they want to come to the solution that you think is good, only this is a preconceived solution based on the problem. Okay, so you have no input in this whatsoever. In other words, you are in the audience. And we got to get ourselves out of the audience because we just react to what keeps coming at us. We have to start writing a script. We have to supply the actors. Because as long as they got the actors and they got the script writers, we're screwed. Anyways, all we need is right major crisis. Okay, that crisis is global warming because it's not a crisis you can put your finger on. Okay, it's out there. Okay, so we can work with it. In searching for a new enemy to unite us, we come up with the idea. When they come up with the idea, science didn't precede the idea. They came up with the idea long before the IPCC got involved in it. Okay? They've created the problem. They bring in the IPCC in order to start working the reaction and looking for the solution. From the IPCC, we need to get some broad-based support to capture the public's imagination, so we have to offer up scary scenarios, make simplified, dramatic statements, and make little mention of any doubts. Each of us has to decide. These are supposed to be scientists. Each of us has to decide what is the right balance between being effective and being honest. There's no science in it. Never was, because they came up with the idea. Okay, if we have the right idea, we can get people to give up their rights. We can get them to succumb to what we want, which is one world government, one world religion.